Thanks for tuning in to Section 8 Podcast, the heart of the hood, and rocking with Butterball and
O.G Strong.
Get on the map. Market, advertise, and promote your products and services on Section 8 Podcast.
Yeah, we got y'all.
O.G Strong, we was having a conversation that was relevant to the previous interview that we was doing with your nephew, Big Homie Bang.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is very important to extend the platform for you to be able to express some things that you expressed to me that the people need to hear as a representation of you being a father and an uncle of a son and a nephew that was locked up. So, as you know, I had a conversation with you about your sister reaching out to me to represent for the mothers of incarcerated individuals, sons as well as daughters. So I want you to express what's on your heart about your experience with having your nephew who y'all were tight-knit before his incarceration. So now there's the opportunity for you to address that. Share with our viewers what's on your heart. Would you mind doing that for us?
Not at all. Not
okay.
At all. Well, first of all, the reason I believe my sister reached out to you for the simple fact that, you know, her son came on there saying what he's saying for us, his mom not being there for him.
Okay.
I was around.
Right.
And I'm gonna let her say that part.
Okay.
You understand? I'm gonna leave that to her. But as far as me, I feel like, well, I thought I was the worst person. I was feeling the most pain for him more than anybody. That's what I thought.
Okay.
You know,
right.
As his uncle, because I was out there in the streets. I was doing a lot of things. I was really in the game, and he was out there for a small period of time.
Okay.
And he actually got caught up at a young age.
Right.
And he seen the things that I was doing.
Okay.
You know, and he actually followed some of the good things I was doing, but he also saw the other things that I was into.
Yeah.
You understand that part?
Right.
So, to make a long story short, when it came to his mother, I felt the pain for my sister. Like, I really felt that pain for her.
Absolutely.
As her only child.
Absolutely.
Her only child.
Yeah.
Going away for the rest of his life. So, and at this time, we was close. Like, me and my family was real close. And
Absolutely.
I just moved out of state. I moved to Colorado.
Okay.
And before I moved, he was on the run.
Okay.
So, in '99, when I went out there, I really started getting situated in 2000. And I called back home and I found out he got convicted.
Wow.
So at that time, I stayed out there for 5 years. It was like off and on, back and forth. I was coming back and forth to Philadelphia and back to Colorado. And I said to myself, you know, I ain't never get a chance to go visit my nephew because the visits was going to Philly to come home, to go back home. So I finally came back home to stay.
Okay.
So my business was to go see my nephew soon as I get home.
Okay.
And that's just what I did. You know, I got a long ride out there. Huntington. He was actually stationed out Huntington at this time. His mom was overwhelmed, like, Jay, you gonna go see him? I'm like, yeah, man, you know, because they had a little separation at this time.
Okay.
So when I went and seen him, it was 5 years I haven't seen him.
Wow.
And he got locked up. So we was in the visiting room. I told this story, right? But in his interview.
So let me not to cut you off. I want you to keep your thought, but I want to make sure that we provide the viewers with the proper steps to have a perspective.
Right.
All right. To have a perspective, your perspective, your nephew's perspective,
right,
and your sister's perspective. All right. So at this point, we speaking about 5 years later.
5 years later.
So there's a lot that took place up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're speaking to is a level of pain. Do you think it's some resentment there at this point? Is this what we addressing?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I felt it.
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't care because I
Okay.
wanted to see him.
Okay. Okay. So you saying you understand that there's some resentment on his behalf is because he feel as though that you're not performing
Right.
as a uncle having a nephew that's incarcerated.
Yep.
All right. So we want to understand that this is Section 8 and we want to provide clarity.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
We getting into the nuances.
Right.
All right. Do you accept responsibility at this point for not performing to a level that you believe that you could have did better on?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Yes, I did.
Continue on.
Well, when I got back and I went to visit him, we was in the visiting room, right?
Okay.
We done already talked. We was sitting down and I stood up and I went to the vending machine.
Okay.
And he said, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
He went to the bathroom. I say it took a little while. I didn't go back to where we was sitting at. I just sat where the vending machine was at. You hear me?
Okay. Okay.
So he came out. Well, this person came out.
Yeah.
Hear me clear. And when this person came out, he said to me, yo, come on, I'm over here. I looked him dead in his eyes.
Wow.
I didn't know who he was.
Really?
Like I said, we was already talking. We was already together from the first beginning of the visit. We was sitting down talking.
So
right?
how long was you visiting before he went to the bathroom?
It was about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We was just overwhelmed and just getting up real quick, and I knew I was gonna be there for a couple hours, so I said, let me go to the machine. He said, all right, let me go to the bathroom. And it was that fast that his vision, him, he looked like a different person.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. I did not know what to do at this moment, so he played it off. He played it off to a point that he said, what the fuck you doing? Come over here. And that's when I woke up.
Okay.
And it shocked the hell out of me.
How did it make you feel?
It was a feeling that I couldn't explain.
Yeah.
Because I never experienced that in my life.
Right.
And I couldn't wait to tell somebody the story because I wouldn't see how I would dare believe it.
All right. Well, you telling it to millions.
Now, this my nephew. My nephew.
Yeah.
He was 19 when he went in. When I seen him, he was 24. I know how my nephew looked.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was that he looked different to me. You know? It was the most hurting feelings that I had experienced by him being incarcerated.
Right.
And I couldn't believe that happened. So we got over that. And when I got home and I called him, I'm like, yeah, you know this? He's like, yo, I told my mom about that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he was on his way home, I was incarcerated. I was up State Road.
Hold on. So let me back up before we get it there. Now, in that visit, in that conversation, did he express to you his feelings about others that wasn't there for him?
Not at all.
Okay.
What took me out about him, he was strong.
Absolutely.
He was strong.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
He was real strong up there. He was just talking about coming home.
Okay.
He was just talking about what he gonna do when he come home. He doing his music. He just was on that.
So that was the tone of the conversation.
That was the tone of the conversation.
All right.
And from the beginning, we just was like, he was looking at me like, Dad, you got big. I'm looking at him. He got real big. So I'm like, okay. And it blew my mind because he was sitting there for 20 minutes and he went to the bathroom, came back out, and I couldn't recognize him.
All right. So at this point, did you feel as though this was a reset, that you had the opportunity to be there for him like you wanted to be?
It was.
Okay.
Because you know how it is, y'all. You know, I got you. When you go up in the prison, visit your family, your expectations be like, I'm gonna guide you, I'm gonna hook you up when I can. What he said to me, no, don't worry about that. I got me. Just visit me and make sure I got phone call money.
The basic
That's all
thing.
he said to me, man.
Yeah.
He didn't say, he said he didn't want no promises.
Wow.
He said, don't promise me nothing.
Yeah.
He said, don't take it offensive by me saying this.
Yeah.
He said, I just want you to make sure I had some phone call time, man. That's what I did.
Let me say this, cause I gotta speak for the incarcerated, and I gotta speak for, you know what I'm saying, because I was in that position. Now, a lot of people, family members and friends, think that it takes a whole lot to do a bit with a person.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They think that we expect this extraordinary,
we do,
level of being there, right?
Yeah.
Where we just appreciate the basic things.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to speak to that. I want the world to know that a majority of the people is not looking for people to do extraordinary acts. We're just asking to be there in a way where I can sustain, in a way that keeps my psychological and my emotional feelings intact. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
All right. So you was bringing the activity up to speed.
Well, actually,
about yourself being incarcerated.
When he was on his way out, well, when I got the news that he was going to get released, you know, when you get the news that a person gonna get released from a life sentence, you think twice.
Wow. Which means you initially didn't believe it.
Not at first.
Okay.
I didn't.
Right.
And at the time I was incarcerated, I was upstate road for a
when you heard the news?
When I heard the news. I called my sister and she told me the news.
Wow.
And I was facing 7.5 to 15 on something, and I didn't even care about my case at that moment. Yeah. I was just so overwhelmed and happy about my nephew case. And I just went crazy in the cell, in the jail. Yeah. And there was a guy in there that was facing 3 life sentences. And what he told me out of his mouth, I ain't gonna forget this guy. They called him Big Pun. He was upstate road. He said, just don't give up hope for you or your nephew. Wow. And sorry to say, he wound up getting some of that time that he was facing. Wow. But what he did have was hope. Yeah. And I had that for my nephew. Yeah. But then he wound up getting out. I wound up getting out before him. Yeah. And then he came home after that. But he's still sick. Now, what was triggering me is he explained to us how it took for him to sit. The process, how long it took, and what he had to go through. Yeah. And I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that. That was the fight that we all had, because that's when he had us running around trying to contact people for this information and all that. And basically, it was too many years that went by, and a lot of those people was like, we couldn't find. Yeah. So I give it up for my nephew. He worked his way out of there. Yeah, absolutely. And some stuff I just needed to know, how you get through them little streets that, that's hard to explain. Yeah. 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 When you it's because we're creatures of adaptation. Okay. We adapt to our circumstances, right? Right. Albeit good, albeit bad. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like clay. You feel what I'm saying? Right.
you shape and mold your circumstances. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So there's a procedure. There are procedures that take place, and this is why it's imperative for us to, even if we ain't breaking the law, I'm gonna speak to the issues with African Americans, right? I think it's imperative for us to understand and learn about the laws that govern our lives, right?
Absolutely.
Particularly, the Fifth Amendment, which has in it the Miranda rights, right? Which has to be expressed and explained to someone who's being apprehended and detained.
Right at that moment.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, if they're being accused of a crime, right? The Miranda rights, which the Supreme Court case for the Miranda rights is Ernesto Miranda versus Arizona. Right? So the Fifth Amendment has the due process clause in it. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to understand these things take place for your interest.
Right.
So we want to know this whether we are involved in street activity or not.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? The Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. Right? The right of the people to be secure in their person, houses, papers, in effect against unreasonable search and seizures should not be violated, but upon probable cause, supported by the oath of affirmation, particularly describing the place to be searched or the person or thing to be seized. That's the Fourth Amendment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to know this is because African Americans are particularly discriminated against when it comes to, driving vehicles. You understand what I'm saying? So we'll get more into that, further in the interview. So you were incarcerated, right?
Yeah.
Was it a family member there when you was there?
It was my son.
Wow. How old was your son?
He was 19.
How did that make you feel?
Crushed me. We was on the same case.
Wow.
We was cellies.
Wow.
He said 15 months. I said 22. System crazy, man.
Yeah.
I was new to the system.
Okay.
I was.
Okay.
I'm 53. I've been arrested 4 times in my life as far as being held.
Yeah.
Each time was 10. It was 3 times. It was 10 times those 3 times, and the last time it was 22 months.
Okay.
So I know it's really nothing to a lot of people that did time and been upstate, but to a person that's not used to going into those systems, and
right.
I was a little lost.
Yeah.
You understand me? I was lost, hands down. But I worked my way through it with my son. So once he came in the system, it was like they extradited him from Colorado.
Wow.
In a car.
Wow.
Picture that. And once he hit State Road, they knew where I was at. So they actually, I feel like they put him in the cell with me.
Yeah.
And right after that, they took me right back out, sent him in the pit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was an experience that I ain't never want to ever go through again.
Right. Right. Right.
With one of my sons.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he got out and we got out. And Yaki got out. And my cousin Jamar.
Yeah.
Basically, I didn't know what was going on with his releasements, but he did get out a year after Yaki.
Okay.
A year right after him.
Okay.
Because there was no way he was going to get out. His co-defendant was not going to get out.
Yeah. Once again, we want the people to know it's a process. When you're dealing with the courts,
yeah,
everything is affidavit by way of an affidavit. You understand what I'm saying? In the appeal. This is why it's important that we have these conversations. Is because we got to understand our rights. We got to understand our appeal rights. See, a lot of times ignorance to the law is no excuse, but it's an excuse that man will plead once he in trouble.
Tell me about
We gotta stop being in that position. We gotta stop putting ourselves in these positions and then fighting from behind.
Right.
It's because you got a certain amount of time to file your direct appeal, right? You have to file something called the NOA, a Notice of Appealability, right? You got to file that to the clerk of courts to put the courts on notice that you're filing an appeal, right? This allows you the opportunity to reserve your issues that you may be able to get some relief through the courts as a result of what you put in your appeal.
Right.
You have 10 to 14 days to file your appeal. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If not, you will be time barred.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? So it is absolutely imperative that we understand the post convictions, the post conviction appeals, because that's what this 9 times out of 10 that's where our fight come in at. Our fight come in on the back end is because we don't get the same treatment as everybody, the same fair treatment with the courts that everybody else get.
Right.
Is African Americans are really guilty until proven guilty or innocent. Did you notice how I said that?
Innocent.
No. Guilty until proven guilty or innocent.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we commit crimes and we don't know the time that the offense hold. See, like a white collar crime, like these people who commit white collar crimes, is more of us committing white collar crimes now is because the drug game has changed. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of other coaches that commit like white collar crimes, fraud. You understand what I'm saying? They be knowing how much time they going get. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They be knowing the range. You see what I'm saying?
Before they get into the crime.
Before they commit the crime. They investigate,
if I get caught,
how much time
for this lawyer, where I'm gonna face my time. Okay, yeah.
They retain lawyers.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of us, we don't be knowing that, if we serve a person some drugs, right?
Right.
And in the school zone, right in front of the school, right? Or on a certain road that we are in a zone, and that within itself constitutes a charge that carries a certain range of time.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful. We have to go into these these not we have to go into these. We just have to be more thorough about understanding the laws that govern our lives and our activity. You understand? Because that's what law is. Law is civil, social, and economic governance.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel as though you've expressed what you needed to express and got some things off of your chest?
Yeah, I did. I expressed some real stuff that I had to get off my chest. And looking forward to my sister coming, telling what she had to say.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I think that interview is gonna be epic. Is because she speaks, you know, for the mothers, for the aunts. You know what I'm saying? The sisters. You understand what I'm saying? The daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of individuals that are incarcerated. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that it's very important that we hear the voices of the mothers.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And sisters and daughters. Is because it's not only males that's locked up. You know, females is locked up at an alarming rate as well.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So we want to extend this platform, you know, for them to have a voice and for them to be represented. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is real. This is Section 8, right? If you're really a person that lived in a Section 8 development under a Section 8 contract, right? You know that there is a lot of activity that can, by circumstances, put you in a position to experience, you know, prison.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So these are pragmatic events that we're speaking about.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And we will be always touching on these topics. We're always going to speak to these issues. It's because these issues need to be addressed. You know, speaking of that, we was doing some research on State Road, right? How many prisons in there? And we just speaking about Philly and Pennsylvania.
Right.
There's 7 prisons, you know, as of right now that sits, you know, within 100 yards from each other.
Yeah.
Right? On this one road in Philadelphia. And they all at some point be filled to capacity.
Yeah. Overcrowded.
Overpopulated.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania has 10
Yeah.
federal prisons.
And 3.
Right? And 5 additional camps. So that's 15
altogether.
in total.
Yeah.
15 federal prisons that be filled to capacity.
Yeah.
And then I believe it's probably I don't want to shoot, but it's over 10 state prisons.
Yeah, it's over 10 state prisons
in Pennsylvania. And we're going to get back to y'all with the numbers. But we would like for y'all to chime in and join this conversation, because I know there is a lot that, you know, we didn't touch on. There's a lot that we did touch on. And there will be many more issues to touch on moving forward with Section 8.
Section 8.
So with that being said, you know, we're gonna close this one out and we'll be back with more interviews, with more topics, man. Thank y'all for tuning in with Butterball and
O.G Strong.
We hope y'all enjoyed this segment, and we hope that y'all continue to support us, man. Thank you.